The date is September 3rd, 1260. In a valley known as Ain Jalut, two armies are facing each other. One never lost a battle. The other knows they're going to die. For 60 years, the Mongol war machine has smashed every enemy that has come in its way. They've wiped entire cities from the face of the earth, slaughtered millions, constructed pyramids from human skulls. Shortly after, from China to Eastern Europe, no military was capable of stopping them. However, today, something different is on the horizon, something that will go on to forever change the course of the history of the world. The Mongols are headed by a general called Qutuz. He is a Christian soldier who has dedicated his entire life to the service of the Great Khan. His armies have only just conquered Damascus, Aleppo, and the entire Middle East. They're on a high from victory that seemed impossible. Nothing can now halt them. Against them are the Mamluks of Egypt. These are no ordinary soldiers. They're slave warriors. Men stolen from their families as children, trained to kill, he repeated, his voice filled with distaste. The leader of his group is a man named Qutuz. This guy, 3 years ago, was nobody, just some random officer in Cairo. Now he is the Sultan of Egypt, and he is on the verge of making the most significant decision of his life. The Mongols have written him a letter. It is brief but menacing. Surrender now, because we can repeat in Cairo what we did in Baghdad. What they did to Baghdad is they wiped it out of existence, he said. 1 million people were dead in a single week. The rivers flowed with red blood for days. In a highly unexpected turn, what Qutuz chooses to do is kill all the Mongol messengers. This is a bold move that gives him. Then he hangs their heads on the gates of Cairo. It means war, total war, and the Mongols have never lost one. The Mongol Empire in 1260 is the biggest empire known to date. It stretches from Korea to Poland, 13 million square miles, 1/5 of all the land on Earth, and it's still growing. Their secret isn't just brutality. The Mongol horses are capable of traveling a distance of 50 miles per day. The riders are capable of shooting arrows while galloping at full speed. They are capable of striking a target the size of a coin from a 100-yard distance while moving. But there's something else that makes them unbeatable: fear. Whenever Mongol armies besiege a town, they come with a choice: either surrender instantly to be a slave, to live a life of servitude, or to fight back, to find your people dead, your lovers. Most cities submitted. It appears that in 1258, the Mongols occupied Baghdad. It was the most significant metropolitan center within the Islamic world. It housed the House of Wisdom, where scholars safeguarded the knowledge of ancient Greece and Rome, where algebraic equations were developed, where the earliest hospitals were established. The Mongols destroyed it all. The books were pitched into the river, with the ink making the water turn black. They killed so many people that witnesses reported that you could walk from one end of the city to the other without touching the ground, merely landing on bodies. This is what awaits Cairo should Qutuz lose. But the Mamluks are no common enemy. They have a secret weapon that even the Mongols are afraid of. Each Mamluk soldier was once a boy slave, commonly from Turkey or Central Asia. They were purchased from markets, as with cattle, separated from members of their families forever, bred from childhood for only one reason: war. They acquired skills on how to fight with swords, spears, bows, and maces. They were studying tactics, languages, and the Quran. Most importantly, they learned what it meant to be loyal, not to family or to tribes, but to one another as Muslims. To the extent that they had earned their freedom, they were no longer the boys who had been stolen. They were living weapons, and they were brothers. Baibars is one of these brothers. He is Qutuz's best general, but he has a plan that might save Egypt. It's risky, it's never been attempted before, and if it fails, the Islamic world disappears forever. The Mongols are moving south through Palestine with roughly army 20,000 men. They're confident because they never lose. They're moving fast because that is what they always do when they fight, strike before the enemy is prepared. But Baibars has also been watching them, learning their patterns, and he has noticed a very significant thing. The Mongols are always alike. They send a small force ahead to scout, then they attack with their main force. It always happens because their enemies are prone to panic and make errors. This time will be different. This time, the Mamluks will employ the strategy that the Mongols used against them. Qutuz agrees to the plan, but he decides to make one change that would affect what happened. Instead of remaining safely in Cairo, he decides to take the army personally. His advisors consider him loco. Sultans don't fight in battles. They issue orders from a far-off land, and generals are allowed to take the dangers. But Qutuz has information that they don't. His men have to see him fight. They need to know he's willing to die with them, because what they're going to undertake has never worked before. The 3rd of September, 1260, the Valley of Ain Jalut. It is still early morning and the desert is still cold. The Mongol scouts arrive first, as predicted by Baibars. Approximately 1,000 horsemen riding hard and fast. They notice a small group of Mamluk cavalry waiting for them, perhaps 500 men, easy prey. The Mongols strike at once. The sky is full of arrows. Horses thunder on the sand. The Mamluks look as though they are panicking. They turn and run. It is exactly what the Mongols are expecting. Every enemy runs away first. Then the regular Mongol army arrives, which completes the job. It's happened 1,000 times before. But something's not right. The Mamluks aren't running in terror. They're retreating slowly in perfect formation. They're firing arrows as they go, attacking Mongols and horsemen, and they're leading the Mongols deeper into the valley. Kitbuka leads the regular Mongol army exactly as his scouts vanish behind a bend. He hears fighting ahead, but he cannot see what he is fighting. The sides of the valley are too high. The path is too narrow. He needs to be cautious. He needs to send more scouts. He needs to wait. But he is a Mongol general. He doesn't wait. He attacks. It's worked for 60 years. Why would today be different? The Mongol armies pour into the valley like water from a funnel. 20,000 of the world's best warriors who are very hungry for another easy win. They sense victory on the horizon. They can even taste the gold they'll take from Cairo. That's when they hear the horns. The sound is coming from everywhere at once, from the hills which line the valley on both sides, from behind, from ahead. It is not one horn, it's hundreds. And then they see these Mamluk fighters emerging from hidden spots, like demons from the sand. Thousands, maybe 30,000, all around them. For the first time in 60 years, a Mongol force is besieged. But the Mongols are no common enemy. They don't panic. They don't surrender. They form up and prepare to fight their way out. They've been outnumbered before. They've been surprised before. They've never lost before. Kitbuka orders his men to break out toward the south. It is the quickest way to get to open territory. Once they make it to the desert, they can employ speed and archery to reverse the tide of the battle. The Mongols charge. They strike home. The horses crash into the Mamluk lines. For a brief instant, it seems they might succeed. But suddenly, Qutuz alters the entire situation. The reason is that he removes his helmet. He hurls it on the ground, and he cries at the top of his lungs, "O Islam!" Every Mamluk warrior hears him. They see their sultan, their leader, fighting like a common soldier, bleeding like they're bleeding, risking everything as though they're risking everything. It's electric. The Mamluks charge ahead with a ferocity that the Mongols have never experienced before. The warriors storming at them are not cowards who cower behind or soft city dwellers. They are professional killers who have trained all of their lives for this deed. The fight becomes a slaughter, but for the first time in decades, it's not the Mongols who are doing the slaughtering. Kitbuka fights like a lion. His sword swings and swings, chopping down a dozen Mamluk warriors before he's finally overwhelmed. In his last gasp, he cries defiance at his enemies. He dies as he lived, without fear. The setting sun on the 3rd of September 1260 means that nearly the whole Mongol force is dead. A few hundred escaped to tell the tale. The rest became a means of carrying for desert vultures. But the real toll that is rarely divulged is that a significant number of the Tuwut for victory is not merely military, it is psychological. For 60 years, the Mongols appeared invincible, chosen by heaven, blessed by the gods. Today, that legend dies in the sands of Palestine. The news of the victory spreads like wildfire. Cairo, Baghdad, Damascus, and people who had been living in terror for decades suddenly dares to hope again. The Mongols can be defeated. The tide of conquest can be changed. In Mongolia, very far to the east, the great Khan monkey learns of the news many months later. For the first time in the history of the empire, a Mongol army has been utterly destroyed. The western expansion ceases abruptly. The resources that would have been used to conquer Africa and Europe are now diverted to other frontiers. The Mamluks make full use of the breathing space. In the following years, they recapture all the cities that the Mongols had occupied in Palestine and Syria. Baibars becomes the new sultan after Qutuz is assassinated by his own officers. It is a reminder that medieval politics were always fatal, even within allies. However, Baibars press on with his campaign against the Mongols and the Crusader states. By the year 1300, the Mongol Empire is breaking apart. The united military power that once threatened to conquer the world falls apart into warring kingdoms. They war with each other instead of expanding westward. The Mamluks rule Egypt and Syria for another 250 years. They are patrons of art, science, and architecture. Cairo becomes one of the wealthiest cities in the globe. The knowledge that is kept within the Islamic libraries is instrumental in fueling the Renaissance in Europe centuries later. None of this would have happened if Qutuz had made different decisions on that morning in September, says Paul Wilson, director of the Oregon Historical Society Museum. If he had remained in Cairo, if he had listened to the advisors who counseled him to negotiate, if he has been a regular ruler, not a warrior, Ain Jalut has saved more than Egypt. It saved the notion that any one empire, no matter how great, can be defeated by people willing to fight for their homes because beliefs. The Mongols never, however, forgot this lesson either. In later centuries, when they faced such challenges, they never failed to take advantage of other enemies who used similar tactics. They were more careful. The age of easy conquest is over. Today, the battlefield of Ain Jalut is a quiet valley in the West Bank. There are no traces of the brutal battles that once raged there, no memories of blood soaked to commemorate what happened there, no sign for tourists to indicate the relevance of the site. The majority don't know their position regarding when the course of the history of the world changed. But on September 3rd, 1260, exactly where they are now, a group of ex-slave boys showed that even the mightiest empire in the history of mankind might bleed. And sometimes that's all it takes to change the world.